What's up, y'all? It's Mr. 6'8", back at you with a new video. Um, this video is going to be a little different than what I normally do, mainly because for the last 5 years, I have left social media and came back on and left again and came back on. And the reason why I find myself constantly in a space of where I was going in and out is because I thought I had to be this perfect person to create somebody that social media would accept me for, because I could not accept my own self and my insecurities and my flaws and things that I was going through, and so worried about what people would say and people would think, knowing that my life is just in shambles and so many issues going on. But what I had to realize is that one of my spiritual family members, Sophia McIntosh, told me that my platform is my experience, and my experience is my platform. And so with that being said, me letting people in is not something that I normally do. But today we're going to change all of that. So with that being said, let's just get right to it. So for those of you who don't know, I am Mr. 6'8". I am in school. I had to see what was on my shirt. But I am Mr. 6'8". I have been on social media for quite some time. But today I just wanted to kind of come to y'all and talk about that it's okay to not be okay. And right now I am not okay. I lost my job. They fired me due to things beyond my control. I'm not going to speak bad of the company, nor would I name the company, but let's just say that I did my job and still got fired, all because of a toxic work environment. And that to me was a sign number one that clearly sometimes we do things, we hold on to things that are not meant for us. And I had been holding on to a job clearly not meant for me for the last 5 years that I gave of this to my job, only for them to fire me on the spot. No warning sign, no nothing, just a Skype call, kick me out, mail my laptop back, boom. And in that process of doing so, it really crushed me and put me to ground zero, because it really stripped me of everything. And about maybe 2 weeks before that, I had prayed to God. Excuse me, y'all. I prayed to God that God would really just come in and shift up everything in my life and change me. And I say this with importance. It's very important that you be careful what you pray for, because sometimes the things that you pray for will come to fruition in the ways that you don't expect the most. Not only did I lose my job, but I was already in depression. Yeah, I had my own place, brand new car, making good money, but I still was not happy. And yet I prayed to God for him to come in and take whatever else was not meant to be in my life away, because I felt like I was suffocating. And the reason why I was suffocating is that I had to realize I was not happy. It didn't matter about what kind of job I had. It didn't matter about the materialistic things and being independent. And that was something else that I realized, is that for so long, I've been living under this rock, or where I've been trying to live up to other people's expectations. And yet I didn't even have any expectations of myself to even fulfill. Pouring from an empty glass into everybody else, and there was nothing else left in my own cup to pour from. So here we are. I'm at ground zero. This video is ground zero. No glitz and glam, no fancy outfit of me, no fashionista, no nothing. You're just getting raw and uncut, unfiltered Mr. 6'8", aka Tristan, and that's it. Right now I'm not okay. because I still have obligations to fulfill. I still have things that I need to have done. For those of you that don't know, yeah, I do have sickle cell. I was born with it. Um, it is a chronic, condition. For those of you who don't know, who may not understand what it is, I've had it my whole life. Basically, your body is in a lot of pain. You're constantly, always, to some degree, some kind of pain. It literally consumes your life. However, I have managed to live independent and still make a living for myself without having to be crippled by it, because I'm just the type that don't give up. And maybe that's why I was holding on to a job that was toxic, because I was so determined into trying to be this poster child of showing others that, yeah, you can do it too. It's not impossible to have a chronic illness and not be able to live your dreams, and to show that you can live your dreams and do the things that you want to do. But understand that even that comes with consequences, because a lot of days I just didn't have it to give. I just really didn't. I was pushing my body to the limit. And sometimes you have to, but you also have to understand that it comes with consequences. Has it done me more harm than good? Mentally, I probably would say it has, more than physically. But we all are trying to make it out here in the world. And I also had to realize that some things just was meant to happen, good or bad, in order to break you, to get you to the next step in your life. And for the last 5 years, even though I had been working on a good job, even though I, was doing all of the things to try to keep myself well and healthy, trying to be a good friend to people, trying to be, as far as active, whether it be with family members, friendships, relationships, I just still found myself not happy. And I've always been the person that I feel like you should never have to feel like you're forcing yourself to do something that you do not want to do, that will not make you happy. Whether that be with work, whether that be in your personal life, you should never have to feel like you're forcing something. If you gotta feel like you're forcing it, it probably is not meant to be. Life can be hard, but life can also be what you make it. Understand that. Take it from somebody that knows. I'm gonna say that again. Life can be hard, but life also can be what you make it. And I just don't think I was really making life be what I truly wanted it to be for myself, because once again, perception is always and will always be everything for me, until I change my mindset and realize that, yeah, perception is everything, but you also have to understand that being authentic and true to yourself is another thing. And I think the other aspect, part of that, comes into play when it comes to who I am as a black man living in this world that we are in now. And when I speak on that, I speak from an experience of, I'm not just a black man. I'm a black man that has existed in gay spaces for quite some time. And I've never felt comfortable in those gay spaces because of the fact that I didn't have what they call the ordinary coming out experience. My coming out experience was me basically having to come out because of the fact that somebody, pretty much was going to do something that was going to be harmful to me. And as a result, if I did not, I'm trying to figure out how to put this, if I did not adhere to their command, they was going to out me. And so with that being said, I outed myself. But I was not a person that was ready to come out. I came out because I was never going to be that person where I was going to let somebody shame me for being who I was. And for those that really know me, they people know that I've always struggled with that side in that space of my life for quite some time. Not because that I'm questioning, and it could be that I'm questioning what my attraction is, but I think a lot of it has to do with, there's a wrestle back and forth between whether I was born into this life or whether this is just who I am being a black gay man. And to elaborate on that more, which I may make a separate video, there were things that happened to me when I was young as a kid. I know that's not the story with a lot of people, but that's my experience. And one thing I do strongly believe in is that your experience is your experience and my experience is my experience. So nobody can take that away from you. Just because you may have not had that to happen to you does not mean it's vice versa and the other way around and it didn't happen for somebody else. So if I feel like that, yes, I went through a series of things to where there were so many people I put my trust in as a kid that when I didn't even know myself or know any better, who violated me in those spaces, and that to where when I did become an adult, that was all that I knew was being with a man because I had been violated so much as a kid. But who am I to speak on whether or not if me existing in these spaces as an adult now is because of what happened back then, or is it just something who I was and it just so happened that I was an easy target because of maybe those people saw me being a gay person. So there's a lot of different sides to look at it from that point. And I think because of the fact that I have not been able to be comfortable in my skin, because I am very much have been raised in a Christian upbringing background, and I do strongly believe, as far as spiritually, I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm a strong believer in that. I think that's been what has been a wrestle because, growing up in the church, of course, in the South, that's frowned upon. So there's just a lot of moving parts. And I think as time progressed, I have been trying to suppress all of this and just trying to survive and get through life. But last year just really did something to me. It started when I moved on my own, got my own place. Then it went from me moving to my own to where I fell in a deep depression because of the fact that I just felt alone. I was working from home full time, being at home full time, alone all the time, work, go to bed, get up, rinse, lather, repeat. I was never able to really showcase my personality or be out in the public and showcase my personality. It kind of just felt like I was being this person, this robot, and I was not living life. And I just feel like that you should not be in a space where you're not living life. If you're just going through life just to exist and pay bills, that's no way to live life. What you should be living for is things that make you happy, things that makes life worth living. And I felt like I lost that somewhere last year. And as a result of that, yeah, I will admit there were times where I didn't even have the strength to get out of bed. I didn't even have the strength to hardly even take a bath and put on clothes. And for anyone knows me knows that I love fashion. I love to be dressed up, but I didn't even have the strength for that because it was just like I really had fell into a depression and did not realize how deep I was off in it until it was too late. And I think at some point I had a mental breakdown and I had to come to the realization, bro, you are not okay at all and you need some help. And that's when I really had to reach out to some of the people that were closest to me to really confide in, because I've always struggled with going to therapy. I felt like I spent my whole life as a kid going to therapy, trying to correct things that, my mind could not process and trying to get them to fix me, I guess, in some way, from my past childhood and the trauma I went through it. Growing up in a abusive household where my father was very much, violent towards my mom, trying to get away from all of that, and then falling into the hands of people in my family who did very wrong things to me as a kid that no kid should have to ever experience. It just was a lot. And so when I say that I checked out mentally, I did, because of the fact that as a black man, I feel like just being black, period, we often don't feel like we should seek therapy, or because it makes us feel some kind of way or makes us feel unstable, to some form of capacity. But I just really had to come to terms with that I just was not okay, and something had to change. And so that's when I really just prayed to God, change me, whatever in this life at this moment is not meant for me, take it away if it's not meant. And then after that happened, I lost my job. So it just let me know it was not meant to be. And even though I'm at a low place right now, but I feel like that I also have a little bit of my freedom back, which is what has allowed me the strength and courage to make this video, because now I have a chance to pour into my platform and do the things that I want to do, which is to hopefully help others through my own experience, and to let people know that somebody out there relates to you, whatever it is that you may be going through. You don't have to do it alone. And I think that's what the message of this video should be. You do not have to do it alone, no matter what. Understand that somebody out there can relate. So I hope that, as you all travel with me on this work in progress with myself, and I don't know what the next chapter is that lies ahead, but if you believe in my platform, if you've been with me from day one, if you're a new follower or subscriber, just stay tuned, because this is just only the beginning. Until next time, signing off, Mr. 6'8". Peace.